Oh, my thing is now streaming live. Okay, so for those who are going to be checking in a little bit later, I'm going to have to turn this volume down. Or for those who might be jumping in here in a second, let me turn that on mute. Great. So what I'm going to do real quick, if you'll bear with me, I'm going to share this sucker on Facebook because my Zoom to Facebook connection has been so wonky. I'm going to had to go live on YouTube, and that's what we're doing. Going live on YouTube. Join me there since Facebook and Zoom are not playing nice. Yikes. Okay. And so then I'm going to tag, hello, who can I tag? Could I check in? Could I tag people? Check in the state of the Spark. Okay. Post that to, sure, post it to my story, post to Facebook. Bear with me. I appreciate you bearing with me here. Good. No one's chatting. No one's watching. I'm fine with that real quick. And then let me go ahead and pull up Facebook. And then I can pull that over here and go really tiny here with this. Boom. And go to my personal profile in case people ask questions or comment. And then I could tag a few folks. So bear with me, folks. I'm going to be right with you. And then we're going to get fired up for the show. So there we go. And that's Marissa, Adam, not Adam Spafford, Adam Welchel, Brittany Welchel. And let's just go here. Okay. So we're about to go live. We are going live. We're here now. Let me get my recording going, resume recording. So we're resuming and we're doing this. So real quick, I want to welcome everybody to the show. And this is going to be new to, not new, this is going to be newer to the YouTube audience because I have not done much YouTube. I've only done one YouTube live streaming and that was fine. Come on, thing. There we go. What is happening? Let's do that. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Is that going to show me the chat? Perfect. Okay. So today's show is episode 15, and I want to cover how marketers are failing. And they're failing us and they're failing you. They're failing me. We're failing as marketers. And I want to be sure to help you out. So with State of the Spark, our goal is to keep you on fire. Our goal is to keep you launching into your dream. And I'm seeing a lot of gaps for small business owners, and it's really bothering me. I had several good conversations yesterday and actually telling on myself, we had actually disserved a client a little bit. And they came back and they were, they were sharing how they were unhappy. But one of the things they shared with us was an area where marketers have generally been failing them. And so I want to cover how marketers are failing you, the small business owner, 2 budgets you absolutely need to know that we've been completely turned around and confused on, 5 things you can do right now, this minute. And then, of course, we're going to cover other news. I'm excited about other news. We're going to do other news. So first and foremost, other news is where I talk about anything other than the coronavirus and stuff that I found interesting. So number one, I just got stomped in Words with Friends. It's not really news. You guys have been playing Words with Friends. I know, because when I try to play Words with Friends, we totally get shut down. We totally get like an error comes up and says too much traffic on this website. So I know you all are playing Words with Friends also, but I've been playing Words with Friends with my friend Ron, and he absolutely stomped me. He had like a 77-point word, and it absolutely destroyed. I almost caught up. I almost closed the gap, but in the end, I lost by about that 70 points. So he stomped me. Aliens, right? Aliens and UFOs in general have been dominating the news. And the interesting thing about this is the meme going around, like 2020 is so effed up that we announced that we have UFOs and everyone was like, meh. And Marissa made a point that she was like, because we don't really know if it's just UFOs, it's not aliens. But here's the thing to think about this. The US government has been sitting on this video footage for years. They have identified that it is not drones, it's not Russia, it's not China. So that's saying something. The government sits on anything that they don't know is in our airspace, and they break it down. They have analysts that decide what it is and what's going on with it. And they're like, man, okay, so it's not aliens, but it's still extraordinarily interesting. And it's like, why would the government release this? Someone posted, well, it could be China or Russia testing new air vehicles. But the US government always keeps that stuff under wraps. And you would think that they would actually not put anything out there that they were still researching. They have finally decided we don't know what this is. And hey, here's what it is. I think the rest of us should be like, ah. And I've been thinking, well, I'm not going to mention the V word or the C word. So we'll cover that afterwards. So that's aliens. The Arctic ozone hole came and went. So we had a record-breaking ozone hole above the Arctic. And basically, it's like a polar vortex that happens every year. And since we've been having a lot of industrialism and chlorofluorocarbons put into the ozone or into the atmosphere, it creates this hole in the ozone layer. And it basically is our atmosphere releasing into space. Okay, that's bad. Except this thing healed itself in like days. And it not only was it a record breaking in size, it was also record breaking in how quickly it recovered itself. So I read the article and they were saying, no, it didn't recover itself because of the lockdown, but it did have a record breaking moment of recovering itself. And that's huge. And so I don't know if this is the animals fighting back or, the planet fighting back, but it was an interesting thing. And last but not least, in art news. And a 3,000 square meter piece of art installation in Switzerland. An artist has put together a beautiful piece called Beyond Crisis. And this piece, hang on, let's see what Daniel's telling me. Oh, hang on. Daniel's saying, do it live already. Had to go over to YouTube. Hang on. Let me link to this for my friend. Boom, boom, boom. Facebook isn't performing. Boom. So that's to my people out there. So we usually go live on Facebook, but we had to go live on YouTube today because people watching had to jump over. So basically in art news, this 3,000 square foot piece of art is gorgeous. And at dusk, the way the shadows move, you have to get up there with a drone and see this piece of artwork. It's gorgeous. It's called Beyond Crisis. Look it up. Google it. It's called Beyond Crisis. It's a beautiful piece of art overlooking a village in Switzerland. Check out art, and they're releasing new footage about the art thief who stole the Van Gogh with a sledgehammer. I love that story. I encourage you to check that out. So that's other news, and I don't want to take too much time this morning, especially since we're on another platform. But I want to touch on a few quick things, and that is how marketers are failing us and what you need to be doing. And the two tiers of budgets I have here, because people I think are small business owners are so confused about what to do with their marketing. They have a lot of digital marketers going, pay this, $500 a month, $700 a month, $1,000 a month. And meanwhile, marketers are like, small business owners are thinking, oh my God, I only have 3 to 6 months of reserves left, or this business won't even exist. I believe that the number one thing the solopreneur, small business owner needs to be doing this minute to keep their dream alive. And if you're a nonprofit, this applies to you too. If you're a mission-driven organization, this applies to you too. If you have a limited runway of cash to spend right now, do not hire a digital marketing company. Marketing is the one thing that you should always be doing as a business owner. So unless you are a CEO with dozens of employees, the entrepreneur journey starts from a solopreneur. You're probably selling stuff on eBay out of the back of your truck, or you're doing landscaping, or if you're a solopreneur, the one thing you need to be doing is sales. And you can consider that one-on-one sales, referral sales, whatever that is. But the only way for you to delegate the sales role is for you to promote yourself to the marketing role. So I want to talk a little bit about what marketers are saying. And these are like a quick punch list of the things that marketers are saying that is completely bad advice for the small business owner. And I mean the truly small business owner. So let's cover this real quick. In State of the Spark, we have what we call a freedom framework, and a freedom framework is an easy way for you to understand your business and the quickest shorthand possible. For small business, it's MSPBA, and that's marketing, sales, production, bookkeeping, and admin. And a client kind of engages your company in that funnel: marketing, sales, production, bookkeeping, and admin. You market to them, they learn about your company, you engage with them and hopefully sell them on your services or your product. Then you actually produce or deliver the thing that you promised to produce or deliver. Then that moves into invoicing or bookkeeping, and that might happen at the same time. And then last but not least, admin is what you do internally on learning from that client and improving your business. MSPBA. That's a State of the Spark freedom framework. As a small business owner, you can delegate bookkeeping easy, easy, easy. You should know it well enough to manage it. You should understand what QuickBooks is. You should understand what Profit First is. You should be able to do this, right? You should also be able to produce the thing you claim to produce. You should know it well enough to delegate it. You should delegate it, but you should know it well enough to delegate it first, right? If you engage in a small business, it's usually something that you've either figured out or know how to do already. So we know this about production. We know this about bookkeeping. Yes, I should delegate it. Yes, I should do that, but I pretty much should be familiar with QuickBooks, right? Right. And then an admin. I should know how to do my project management software. I should know how to, review clients or delegate through outsourcing. Sales and marketing evade most small business owners. And even though what is common sense in the other areas, when it comes to sales, we eventually bite the bullet and realize, I guess I have to sell. No one knows my service as well as I do. I guess I have to do this. And they do it begrudgingly, and they're not, and therefore they do not excel at it. But back up one more: marketing. Everyone is convinced in drinking the Kool-Aid that there is either software that they can just buy and it will do marketing, or they can pay a digital marketing company to do marketing and they'll be good and they'll get leads. Won't happen. False paradigm. And I think digital marketers are the ones saying this. They're saying make a budget of $1,000 a month. Here's news for you. Most small businesses out of the gate cannot afford $1,000 a month for budget. They can't even afford $500 a month for an ad spend budget. Should they? Of course they should. Should they have a better idea? Sure, about their business? Sure, of course they should have a better idea about their business. Should they have better profit margins? Of course they should have better profit margins. But that is not reality. All that is idealistic shoulds. And digital marketers, they love their job. They sit at a computer. They've got great software. They might even be good at what they do and actually drive leads and traffic. That's great. It's a cush job, but it is not on par with the reality of the average small business starting out there. The average person with a missionary mind who's doing missionary work or mission-oriented work, the average person out there does not have a mission-driven mind, and they do not understand anything about marketing or their target clients. And so these digital marketers themselves are not taking their own medicine. They don't understand the end user, the small business owner, or the person with a dream. Those people do not have $500 a month. Those people do not have $1,000 a month. They do not have anything regarding marketing. So I think how marketers are failing us is they're telling us, hey, just pay a digital marketing company to do it. And then you, the business owner, go, great, someone else can deal with it. And it fits into your psyche as well. Why? Because sales and marketing are intimidating. Because the average person in the country is probably an introverted temperament. They don't like sales. And they think I can start a business and the product will sell itself. No, it won't. I'll have a referral program and that will sell itself. No, it won't. I'll serve people really well. I'll create an extraordinary thing. People will talk about it. I'll go to networking groups. I'll hand out my business card and that will be enough. No, it won't. These things do not work on the averages. They might work for you, Mr. and Mrs. Small Business Owner, who really made it work. But I guarantee if we deconstructed what you're doing for marketing and sales, I guarantee if we deconstructed that, we would discover that you're actually doing other things than just referral marketing. You're doing other things than just going to a small business networking group and handing out your business card. I guarantee you're actually doing marketing. I want to give you two quick budgets to the average small business owner or the average nonprofit manager or the average person who has a passion in their heart. I want to give you two budgets that are rules of thumb so that you have a good framework. You see, all this came from this conversation I had yesterday with a client of mine. And this client of mine was super frustrated with, he's called around to all of the local marketing companies. He said, hey, I want to hire you to do some marketing for me. And they would say this to him: can you come up with this content? And he'd say, no, I can't come up with this content. That's why I'm coming to you. And he got this response. And that was, well, when you're ready, come back to us. He had that from, I think, 2 or 3 marketing companies locally. And I'm listening to him and I'm realizing I want to tell him the same thing. When you have blog posts, when you have good video, when you've outlined your unique service proposition, when you have all that, bring it to me and then I'll market it. So if I go to a lawn guy and I say, hey, I need you to do my lawn, the basic material of that person being able to serve you is present. The lawn is there and he has the tools, he or she has the tools to mow your lawn. And you say, here's money, here's my lawn, please mow. It's the same with painting a house. It's the same with Ryan Chris. It's the same with washing your car with Ryan Chris. When you wash your car, you at least bring him the money and the car, even if it's a wreck or a mess, and then he has the tools and he'll clean it. With marketing, we have a similar paradigm. I am a marketer. I market. Basically, I distribute your material at the basic level. For the small business owner, I just simply distribute your material. So you need to bring me the material. This is a false paradigm and it's dangerous. This is how marketers are failing you. And someone's watching going, oh, thank God, someone's speaking reason. No, you're failing them. You're not bringing the money. What I mean is this. These two budgets that I'm about to share with you should put some things into perspective. Budget number 1, you have $500 or less for a monthly ad spend. Small business owners, I would say you should be able to come up with, I'm not talking about hiring a digital marketing company. I said you internally should be able to run a Facebook or LinkedIn ad, and you should be running that ad at about $500 a month. If you have up to that budget, you should be managing your own marketing up until that moment. What is under the hood? What am I expecting of you at that budget? I'm expecting that you know how to create a graphic so that you can use for your ad. I'm expecting that you know how to write or talk or discuss about what it is you do uniquely. You have to be able to talk about what it is you do uniquely, or you don't have a business. Wake up call. If you will have to pay someone else to write your blog posts, if you're too busy, I understand. But if you have to pay them because you don't know what to write, you don't know your business. Sorry about you. What I see a lot of small business owners do is they want to hire a marketing company to write about their business because they actually don't know their business. Now, if you're just too darn busy, legitimately too darn busy, I expect you to outsource that. But at the drop of a hat, I should be able to turn to you and go, give me 300 words about your business. And you should be able to actually either talk or write 300 words about your business like that. If you don't know your business. At $500 or less, you should be able to create a graphic about your business. You should be able to formulate a hypothesis of maybe a topic your clients might like. If you don't know what your clients like, you don't know your business. You don't have a business. You have an idea of what you think you want to do in the world, but you don't actually have a relationship with your end users. If you can't create a graphic, can't come up with a topic, and can't write 300 words on your own, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Now, you might be able to get away with that with landscaping or basic lawn mowing, basic house painting, basic pressure washing. You might be able to do that. And in the early days, you might be able to get by and you're just spending $500 on like a display ad. It's just an ad that says, buy us. And you're going to hope that people see that more than they see your competitors who do speak well about their business. That's that budget of $500 or less. You know how to do it yourself. You know how to get into the guts of Facebook Ad Manager. You know how to get into the guts of LinkedIn Ad Manager. You're familiar with those platforms. And then you can post an ad. You know how to articulate an audience. Both Facebook and LinkedIn allow you to shape that audience. You can shape those audiences yourself. That's what you should be able to do up to about $500 a month yourself, $750 a month yourself. Now, above 500, above 750 a month, what would you do? You can delegate to a digital marketing company. You're going to see them take about 10%, maybe 15% in management fees, meaning that just goes to their labor. So if your budget's been $500, you might lose 50 to 100 of that to management. But the idea is that they can now spend your 400 remaining dollars better and smarter than you can. You're still creating content. Hear me on that. You're still creating content. Over $500 a month budget, you say $500 to $2,000 is that second budget I'm talking about. In that, you should be able to delegate your marketing, but you should still expect to have to create much of your own content. Now, if you're going to spend over $2,000, you should hire someone in-house if you have that much money. Now, how do you know what you should be spending? This was a question that this guy asked yesterday. I don't know how much I should be spending. Rule of thumb is this. If you just want to maintain your marketplace, you should be spending about 5% of revenue. And I'm going to unpack that in a second. If you want to get new market share, gain new customers, you need to expect to spend 10% or more of revenue. But hear me on this. If you're making $100,000 a year, you should be spending $5,000 a year on revenue. If you're making $100,000 a year and you want to grow, you should be spending about $10,000 a year. But hear me on this. That's 5 or 10% of your targets for this year. So if you've been making $100,000, that's great. If you want to be making $150,000, adjust the numbers. So if you want to be making $150,000, if you're only making $100,000 this year, last year, but at the end of this year, you want to be making $150,000, you should be spending not $5,000, you should be spending $7,500 on marketing. If you're at $100,000 and you want to be making $150,000, you should actually be spending not $10,000 on marketing, but $15,000 on marketing. And you're going, whoa, Grant, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's a lot of money, but you want to be making a lot of money. And marketing is the number one area where you should be working and working hard. So you have these budget tiers, $0 to $500 a month. I've given you $500 to $2,000 a month, and then $2,000 and over. That's actually 3 budget tiers. And then how much should you be spending in general? You should be spending 5 or 10% of where you want to be at the end of the year. Grant, that's a big chunk to bite off. You're not lying. This is the biggest spend you'll probably have other than labor. And if it's the biggest spend you have other than labor, you should understand it. Do not delegate marketing until you know it well enough to delegate it. Do not delegate production of painting or landscaping or web design until you know it well enough to delegate it well. Do not delegate your bookkeeping until you understand it well enough to delegate it. But you should also be doing this with your marketing. Do not be delegating your marketing until you know it well enough to delegate it well, so that you're getting your value. Because if you're going to spend between $10,000 and $15,000 over the next year in marketing, you better be getting your money's worth. How can you be sure of getting your money's worth? Understanding it. So here are the 5 quick things I want you to do today if you are nowhere near this. And I present for your consideration, if you are the average small business I've seen out there, 90% of all small business owners are not going to spend $10,000 this year on marketing. They're not going to spend $5,000 this year on marketing. They might spend $5,000. They might spend $3,000. The average small business owner I know might spend $1,200 this year. That's my actual observation. We have about 180 regular clients. And of those clients, I say on average, they spend about $1,200 on marketing. Now, they say that coffee visit to the local coffee shop is marketing. Truth is it might get earmarked as marketing, but it's not. I mean, actual intelligent dollars spent to intentional marketing. I say on average, the average small business owner is going to spend less than $1,200. You got to get that number up. And here's the quick things I think you should do. The reason they don't is they don't know what they're doing. So here's what you need to do right now. Number one, get into Facebook Ad Manager and check it out. Understand it, run test ads, know what the buttons do. And right now, you don't even have to know. There's so much going on in Facebook Ad Manager. You don't even have to know all of it. Start an ad, pick an awareness ad, pick a reach awareness ad, go to the next screen, pick an audience in your area. Just start with an audience, figure out how it works, set a lifetime budget. You'll see what I mean when you get there, of $50, not $500 yet. You want to learn something first. Spend $50 on that ad, run the ad, learn something. I'll do another video where I'll actually walk you through all of this. We'll do it for the Spark Sites clients, and then we'll release it later for the rest of the clients. Number two, that's number one, get into Facebook ad and learn it. Number two, learn LinkedIn Campaign Manager. It's basically the same thing. Learn LinkedIn Campaign Manager. That's number two. Number three, learn Canva. You don't have to be a graphic artist. You don't have to hire one. You don't have to outsource to Fiverr. Go open up a free Canva account, canva.com. Open up a free Canva account and just come up with a graphic. Hot tip on your Canva graphic. Come up with a graphic. On Facebook or LinkedIn, you cannot have more than 1/3 of the image be full of text. People often create an image and put text all over it. Don't do it. It'll get reviewed and get kicked out. Just do an image, and less than 1/3 of that image should be text. Less than 1/3. Make it a compelling image. That's number four. Number five, pay for the ad in Facebook and in LinkedIn and run it for 3 days, only 3 days, because you want to learn. You want to learn something. So you're going to set a $50 budget. It's going to last for 3 days. That ad's going to come down and you're going to go back through the process, learn the analytics, learn what's going on. These words might seem foreign to you. This might seem intimidating, but I want you to win. And if you're going to win, you absolutely need to learn these platforms. You need to learn digital marketing. Do you need to become Gary Vaynerchuk? No, of course not. Grant, when will I be able to delegate? When you've done this enough to be confidently spending about $500 a month on your marketing, it's at about that moment that you are equipped here as a business owner to successfully delegate that. I'm not saying marketers can spend $1,000 for you intelligently. I'm saying your lid is not there. You're not ready for it if you cannot speak intelligently on what a targeted audience is in Facebook Ad Manager, on what a targeted audience is in LinkedIn Campaign Manager, on what LinkedIn Pro Finder is. These are tools. They're not apps. They're the platforms and the channels by which marketing and advertising happens. And then you want to do low budgets like at that $50 level because it's a feedback loop from your clients on what they're responding to really, not what you think they like. Once you've done that and you know how to speak about your company, you should be equipped to tackle marketing. So I'd say spend less than $50 until you learn, adjust your strategy, and repeat. Now, I hope that has some tactical value for you. I hope that actually has steps. So let's review this real quick. If you want to maintain your market share, it's 5% of your revenue of where you're going. And if you need to learn what revenue means, it is not your gross income, it's your revenue. Talk to Adam Welch of Spark Bookkeeping, and he'll unpack that a little bit for you. 5% of your revenue of where you want to go needs to be going to marketing if you're just maintaining your average market share. 10% or more needs to be going to marketing if you're going to grow or gain market share. If you're spending less than $500 a month on ad spend, you should be doing it yourself or someone in-house, and you should learn the platforms well enough to use them. $5,000 to $2,000 a month in ad spend, you can certainly delegate that to a digital marketing company, but you should know it well enough to know where you're going and to know if they're performing for you. Over $2,000 to $2,500 a month, you should have someone in-house. Why? Marketing is the most important step of MSPBA. It's how people feel about your brand. It's teeing them up to prepare for the salespeople. You should be having marketing and sales meetings weekly. Hey, sales guys. Hey, sales gals. Are we teeing you up well with the type of leads we're getting? That's all on marketing. How do people feel about my company? That's all on marketing. Am I even doing sales or am I just doing awareness? How do people feel about our brand in general? That's all marketing. Last note about messaging. I've noticed a lot of small business owners who don't know any of the things I've just mentioned. Hiring, messaging experts. Messaging experts are worth their weight in gold, but at a certain tier. If you don't know your head from your butt about marketing, you're not ready for a messaging consultant. I just don't think so. Oftentimes we think we can hire these messaging consultants, come in, give us clarity about our brands, and then also help us figure out marketing. Quite often, messaging experts don't know anything about marketing, as I have found. Most messaging experts are really good at wordsmithing and telling a story, and that's great, but you're not ready for that at the $500 a month or less marketing budget. You don't have the innate skills. $500 a month is not like, hey, Grant, I spent $500 a month. This month, I'm ready for a messenger. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you've been spending $500 a month on marketing. And because of that, the tool set and the skill set, you know how to talk about your company, you know what your clients like. You're starting to gain an understanding of not your hero's journey, but your client's hero's journey. It's about that time that you might be ready to pay for a one-off consultation with a messaging consultant who can then contextualize all of that for you and help you contextualize it for your clients. That's my bonus tip outside of the budgets and how marketers are failing you. So I hope this has been useful. I apologize for how clunky this episode has been, being on YouTube and not Facebook. We're actually going to hang up the show now. And just admittedly, I'm going to try to take a stab at this again on the Facebook platform and kick it off there. I hope you've learned something. Comment below if you did gain anything out of this. I appreciate it. I really want to hear your marketing questions. I really want to hear your budget questions. I really want to hear what you're doing about marketing and how you're trying to take things to the next level. So thank you so much for stopping by. I look forward to our next time together. Remember, you should be out there igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. Have a great day.